You know what?
What?
I'm gonna talk about it.
Can you do me a favor and actually tell us what you're talking about?
Kamen Rider. I've been watching a few of these seasons, and I'd like to talk about these shows.
Oh, what seasons have you watched?
I've watched Kamen Rider X8 as my introduction, which is essentially doctors fighting video game developers that are trying to become gods. After that we watched, I think it was Double, which genuinely one of my tops right now, which is essentially a detective show where two are one and all are one. Bit of a jab at my 1986 Transformers fans there. And now we're watching Kamen Rider Build, which I'm not loving much, but it feels like it rushes things a bit too hard. And Kamen Rider Gavv, which is a season based around junk food and has a half-alien hero with hypoglycemia. Now, this show, many on the outside looking in might say it's just Power Rangers or Super Sentai in Japan, and you're not exactly wrong. But the stories are a bit different. Originally, Kamen Rider, meaning Masked Rider, are essentially solo heroes that sometimes work with one another. In more recent series, which is called Reiwa, I think, keep in mind I've only recently gotten into the shows, they work with teams of a lot more often, but they're often forced to be teams, not making the choice to be teams. Often these teams start out as enemies and find themselves joining the family. I like it when the realizations of similar desires come up more slowly, which is the main reason why I'm not loving Build. Except Banjo. I love him, and if anything were to happen to him, well, you know the meme. But the show follows these masked heroes who use these specialized belts to become super masked heroes. The original ones, I don't know if this one was the actual OG or one of the early seasons. His belt actually combined him with the genetics of a cricket in order to give him armor. The masked often look like bugs for this very reason, and all Kamen Rider have a signature rider kick as an ultimate attack as a result of this. But each season uses different themes of drivers to get their powers. Let's go over the ones I've seen. X8, the doctors use video game cartridges to become riders, each video game giving them different powers and upgrades, and even having different levels. Level 1 chibis are my favorites, with level 2 riders being the more commonly used ones. They abandoned the chibis up until the final episode for some reason. In Double, they use Gaia memories, which were essentially ideas that the planet itself hold. Bits of history like dinosaurs, emotional charges like conflict, or elements of nature, or even something as simple as gotta go fast. Double, spelled like this here, is a fan favorite for a number of reasons, and I absolutely agree with it. I even watched the spin-off show, Futo PI, which is definitely more adult than the base theme, and I hate that only 12 episodes got released. Give us more, it's been years now. But because of the reverence for this show, they've crossed over with a lot of other seasons, and even a few other series by the same company. Unfortunately, because of legal issues between the actor who plays Philip's management company, the main writer can't make a comeback, but they gave the secondary writer that I originally hated so much some real character growth And it wasn't in the last episode. The bad guys, especially the BBEG, is so charismatic. Papa Terror absolutely bleeds, breathes, sweats, and pisses charisma. If the man came up to me and told me to dance for him, god damn it, I'd get jiggy with it. Even in the spin-offs and crossovers, Excel, the secondary writer in question, is hamming it up. The suit actors go well beyond above, and the voice/face actors know how to cheese, and I adore it so much. There's also a lot of jokes, especially about how gay Phil is, especially in Fudo PI. And also jokes about Terry being a dad. Terry is Kamen Rider XL. Enough gushing about that though, but I could honestly go on. Build is a series I'm not loving near as much as my buddy is. I'll admit that. In my opinion, it rushes way too fast through story arcs. Enemies are suddenly friends, but I will say something. The secondary writers are great. The story in general is so cool, but I feel like it should have been spread among 3 seasons, not 1. That's 50 odd episodes. Banjo, a boxer on the run from the police for murder that not only did he not commit, but also never happened, technically. Grease, a farmer turned brother turned soldier who's secretly an absolute simp for the main character's pseudo-sister. He watches the 3 men who were originally his employees became his brothers, then need to bury each one by one, each meeting their end in gruesome ways. Rogue, a copy bastard who decides he's the only option to rule the chasmed Japan. He tries to kill his dad to become the autocrat, fails, becomes a gator man to try and conquer the island himself, and fails that. I know he eventually becomes a hero too, I think? I don't know, I'm only about halfway through and it seems like a stretch given the Gator arc. Bloodstalk, aka Dad, aka Mars God, aka Mr. Mask, aka the worst barista on Earth, aka Dead Man Walking, aka Astronaut, aka Ground Zero. Honestly, I think he wants to lose because he made his greatest nemesises. Mad Rogue. I know he's a bad guy. I'm certain he remains a bad guy. I think he's just a secondary guy who wants more power ultimately. Honestly, these secondary guys carry the show because Build, he's a fine character, he's just not the peak. But then we can talk about the current season, Gavv, spelled with 2 V's. This show is all about treats, food, snacks, and more. My diabetic ass has trouble seeing this show because it makes me want so much candy. The main character is a half-blooded alien who, like his evil alien half-siblings, has a stomach mouth that can be used like a driver belt. This writer gets his powers by eating snacks and enjoying them. His first power came from gummy candies, giving him a good defensive power. His sidekick uses chocolate bars to get a gun. He's upgraded with several candies himself, and this season, as much fun as it is extremely dark. I've seen so many characters die, manipulate, backstab, and go through some major trauma. Like I said, Kamen Rider Gavv is still coming out, and I am loving it. I know this is a children's show, but some seasons are definitely on the edge. Some movies are definitely more teenage audience oriented, and the spin-off series like Fudo PI, well, PI is definitely not meant for kids. But that's enough about me gushing about a Japanese show that's hard to find in the US and has been going on for like 40 years or so. So, shove off.